Hey guys, Alex here. Got a great question today in the Cold Crowd community group. If you're not part of the Cold Crowd group, it's down in the description of this video. And also remember to subscribe to the channel, like the video if you want more of this kind of content or you found this helpful at all. So today we're going to be talking about pay per performance pricing. Basically you don't get paid unless you provide a result, a fixed result. Okay. Now, there's obviously some big upsides to this kind of pricing model, or this kind of agency or business model. There's also a lot of downsides, and so I kind of want to go through those first. So the upsides on this is that it makes your business or your agency more scalable, okay? And it's kind of a different sort of scale than getting a lot of clients and being able to scale with lots of clients. It's this kind of scale of getting one client and being able to horizontally scale with that one client. You know, the more volume, the more sales you get these guys, the more money you make, right? Which is that it's a very enticing and compelling model because of that, okay? If you're able to master it, if you're able to find the right fit there, the business can infinitely grow even just with one client, and the results you're getting them propel the growth, not only of their business and making them happy, but also growing your agency, putting growth into your agency and putting more resources in your hands to do a better job, go out there, get another client like that, et cetera, et cetera. So it's very enticing in that way, especially for those of us that kind of know our shit and get results and are just excited about doing something like that and growing with our clients. Downside on it is that it is, again, it's dependent on results. So, if you're not getting results, you're not getting paid. And essentially that can be a real bummer. That can be a real downside when it comes to running an agency, because running an agency generally is pretty intensive. You've got, expenses with software, you got expenses with contractors and employees, you've got to spend, there's all kinds of things going on. So doing a ton of work up front and not being promised any payment can, you can waste a lot of time, spin your wheels, and basically get nowhere with your business. So that's a real threat and something to always keep in mind when you're considering this kind of pricing model. I've seen a lot of people jump into this pricing model kind of not considering a couple of key factors and just really having a hard time and not progressing, not making money, and worse, kind of losing the fire of it, getting really frustrated with it. Okay, so I would hate for that to happen to you. So let's go ahead through what those kind of qualifications or those foundations you need to know if you're going to go into a pricing model like this. So number one is it's all about vetting the client for something like this, okay? Because again, if you get a good client and it's fairly easy or fairly systematic for you to get them results, this thing scales infinitely with that one client, okay? However, if it's a bad client, if you get a bad client, I mean, it's going to waste time, and it's going to just not make money, and it's going to just drive your ambitions into the ground a little bit. It's a bit of a sad situation when it doesn't work out. So it's all about the clients. So you need to vet the clients, and the clients need to have a proven track record of product market fit. What is product market fit? They have a product or service that fits a market. They know it. They've sold before. The market's hungry for it. All of this is proven. It's out on the table that they have driven revenue with this market and this product before. They just need help to scale it up or get more leads or get better leads or whatever their kind of pain is at that point. But they know that the offer sells to that market. Okay, so they know that that's the case. This is the only kind of client you want to work with, okay? If they don't have a proven track record of sales, if they don't have, a proven product market fit that they can speak of, that they can show you and present to you, it's like at that point, to get pay per performance pricing, in my opinion, they need to prove a lot on their end. That their market is buying this product and there's a need in the market, and you're not just going out there trying to do some impossible task, right? So that's number one. Number two, you need complete transparency. So number one is non-negotiable. You absolutely need product market fit. You need to know the niche. You need to know you can get results. All that needs to be set in stone. Okay, so again, for pay per performance pricing, you really need to choose a niche, an ICP, an ideal client profile, and you need to stick to it, and you need to know it inside and out, and you need to have a repeatable system that works here to do this kind of thing. Working with a broad range of niches is impossible with pay per performance, in my humble opinion. Okay, Number two, you need complete transparency. So you need access to their CRM. You need to be able to talk to their sales reps. This depends on what you're selling, obviously. If you're selling closed meetings, closed calls, like you're actually closing sales for them, that's a whole other thing, I guess. That's great. And that's kind of the commission sales model, which works extremely well. If you're generating leads or appointments, you need to be able to interface with the people that are actually closing sales, right? Like you need to be as close to the revenue as you can so that you know what to do, what not to do, and how to get them better results. So you're watching the CRM, you saw that some leads came in, some appointments came in, you're tracking all those things, and you're selling appointments or whatever you're selling, right? So this is like just having transparency into what's going on, knowing that you're going to get paid, because there are those horrible people out there that promise this kind of thing and then do not pay. So that's number two. And really that's it. I think if you have a client that has product market fit, and you have complete transparency with them, and you're able to communicate and know where you stand, and they pay on time. And I guess number three, I would say actually is having really clear terms. You need to qualify what the deliverable is. Like if you're delivering an appointment, that appointment needs to be, you need to know, like they need to know what to expect from that appointment. Are these like warm appointments that are going to close like a lot of, or are these people that may need the thing in the future, they don't really need it right now? There's all kinds of variables there. If you're closing the sale, what dollar amount does the sale need to be? There's a lot of education, a lot of information, a lot of qualification that you need in details on that level of things. So you need to come up with a benchmark of what you are delivering, and it needs to be written clear as day in a contract that they've signed, that everyone is on the same page when it comes to what is being delivered and what that all looks like. And this is where setting expectations is just huge, and that goes for any pricing model or any business, right? So you want to set expectations and be very clear about what you are delivering. If you're doing those three things, generally speaking, this can be an amazing model. But again, you're going to want to have a very clear niche you're selling into, a very clear target audience that they're selling into. You're going to want to know the market. You're going to want to track and know that they have product market fit. You're going to want to know all of these things and have complete transparency into the situation to be able to offer pay-per-performance. I want to add also that if you're a beginner in kind of marketing or sales or whatever you're doing, and running an agency, or you're freelancing, I highly recommend you do not do pay-per-performance pricing before you know that you can get results, that you know the market, that you know exactly what you're doing, and you have control over as many elements of the situation as possible. When you're first getting started, I highly, highly recommend charging retainers, charging flat rate fees. Now again, it's not like horizontally scalable. Like I've had situations in the past where people were paying me $4,000 a month and I was making them millions, right? So on a pay-per-performance model, I would have been making a lot more money. But at the stage that I was at, $4,000 was security, and it was giving me capital to be able to invest into the rest of the things that I wanted to do with the agency. So in the beginning, that capital, that cash flow is so important. So if you're just getting started, or you're a year in, or you're kind of flimsy on the results, you're not really seeing what you want to see yet, and you're still jumping from niche to niche or whatever, figuring out kind of what you like and what you're passionate about, what you want to be doing in the agency space, I highly recommend charging retainers, or charging something that's a fixed rate. You can do a setup fee and a retainer, or you can just do a straight retainer. Whatever makes the most sense. You need to come up with your offer, whatever aligns with your market. I've talked about this in the past a little bit. Somebody asked about SaaS companies. It's like SaaS companies charge monthly to their users. So if you're able to get them an enterprise user, you can charge. You should be charging monthly flat as well, because it's like ROI will be very easy to calculate, right? And things like this. But yeah, in the beginning, highly, highly recommend charging money. Okay, money up front and money every month for what you're doing. And then later on, if you really dial in a niche and you're really happy with this niche and you want to scale within that niche, and you see the opportunity of what your client results look like, and you're like, damn, I could be getting a percentage of this or something like this, then by all means look into pay per performance pricing. Make sure that these guys are reliable and trustable and transparent and all this stuff, and you'll have a great job, a great time basically doing the pay per performance thing. Okay, so that's kind of my thoughts on it. Actionable advice on this is, if you're listening to gurus and you're listening to other people telling you to do pay per performance pricing, you're watching other people do it, realize that there are some nuances to it. Okay, so they are highly specialized. They know their audience, they know their market, they know their ICP, yada yada. If you're not to that point and you're not ready to be qualifying people on all these things, because it takes down the volume of the qualified leads that you're going to have, right? All of a sudden, a lead is not just a person with this kind of company that wants to get more leads. This is a person that is vetted, that has a proven track record, has sold this many dollars of the product to this exact market, and et cetera, right? It's like more qualifications. So it's also better when you're just more seasoned, you know how to get leads easier and all that kind of stuff. But if you're just getting started, actionable advice, if you're just getting going or you're kind of beginner and intermediate in this, I highly recommend charging flat rates, coming up with interesting introductory offers, which we'll talk about in other videos. But finding ways to get your foot in the door and show that you can get results. But don't get paid on results only in the beginning, because again, you can just kind of flatline or negative your business and lose a lot of time, lose a lot of momentum. You know what I mean? If you do this, if you do a retainer or a setup fee with a retainer, you're going to be stacking. Income basically and cash flow so that you can invest into other things and other resources that your agency needs, like hiring people, like ads, like software, like all the things you're going to need. Okay, guys, hope you like this video. Again, subscribe to the channel, like the video if you found this helpful at all. Share it with a friend if you feel it could help them out. And thanks for being here again.